pick up the blitz. Flag is thrown. There's your first down and a lot more for Demaryius Thomas.
9-9
Swing
gorilla.
and a shot by Freeman. Deep into the night. Back-to-back homers for the Braves. Blake Griffin will turn. Shoot a three for the win. Bounce. They go. He cuts the big land. They go.
All right. Good evening. It's Friday night. Know what that means? It's time for the number one sports podcast in the world. It's time for sports for you. Live on YouTube. I'm John. That's Mark. We're here in the after draft of the first round of the 2026 NFL draft. Our sports for you NFL draft watch along was quite the success yesterday. Shout out to Nessa and Cody for holding down the beginning of the show. Shout out to Sam for pulling up. But yeah, we got lots to talk about and a lot going on. Round 3 going on right now with the draft. And then we got NBA playoffs going on right now. So lots to talk about here today. Once again, I want to thank everybody who pulled up last night to the Sports for You draft watch along last night. And obviously it was a real well turned out event, and we are glad that we was able to bring it back to how we used to bring it back the way we used to do things. So it was dope last night. Everything. Shout out everybody who pulled up last night. And we're gonna talk about what went down, what we witnessed in round 1, with some things we witnessed today in round 2.
And what I've realized in 2026, John, well, 25, 26.
We're witnessing going into the season. We also had a big announcement in the NFL. As far as we know, we're a couple weeks away from the NFL schedule release, and we already got getting ready for the games, and one game was officially announced, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's just go back to last night, man. Let's just talk about last night with round 1 of the NFL draft. What up, Nessa? Thank you again for everything you did last night. But
Nessa, what up? Where they hurt?
But yeah. Right now, the Raiders are on the clock right now with pick 91 in the 3rd round. Seems like they've made their pick and they're very happy about it. So, but it's been an interesting first 2 days in the Steel City, as Matt Millen's finna come out and announce the pick for the Raiders. What up, Sam? Bro, good. Yeah, we had fun. It was fun last night. So obviously, it's between other Raiders. There's a start there with the obvious, and that was them with the first pick, taking Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 pick out of Indiana, Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, and is now the new quarterback and face of the franchise for the Las Vegas Raiders. No surprise here. We all knew this was the worst. This was the worst kept secret in the draft. And now here he is. He did it. Finally meet the Vegas media today. So hopefully now we'll see what goes forward. But let's see who did the Raiders pick at 91. They take Trey Zoom III, a center from Texas A&M. So shout out to Nessa's Aggies.
Oh, he's not playing center.
No.
He go play guard. They got Lindenbaum.
Yeah, so he'll move over to the interior. Obviously, Tyler Lindenbaum now the highest paid center in NFL history. Yeah. Sam said, yes, shout out to Max Eisenhower from Arizona State, former King Drew, yeah, high school standout. Yeah, of course, went to the Steelers yesterday. So we had a couple of players go from AFC, so we'll talk about them. But let's start here. No surprise here, but what are we expecting from Fernando Mendoza?
He shouldn't be starting week 1. I think they're gonna start Kirk Cousins, especially with Tom Brady being in the office, and we know what Tom Brady feel about rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Vegas bye week is, I think we'll start depending on how their record is, we'll start seeing the talks about Fernando Mendoza starting.
Right.
But they signed Kirk Cousins and they gave him that money, so
the Cowboys are here. See Drew Pearson in the house, Tony Dorsett's in the house. The Cowboys did not make a pick. So it was their first pick of day 2. Oh, wow.
mm-hmm.
That's what's up. But yeah, hopefully, look, I know I hate the Raiders, but we'll see how long before we see Mendoza get behind center. Cowboys just now took Jayshon Barham from Michigan in with pick 92. Speaking of pick number 2, David Bailey going to the New York Jets, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. I thought it was going to be Arvell Reese, but clearly David Bailey made a.
I think that's good for the Jets, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Jets fan. I mean, I hate the Jets, but I think that's good for the Jets. Man, I think that pick is good for the Jets. I think Arvell Reese is the better player,
right?
But I think David Bailey is a better fit for what the Jets got going on defense. I think that's the reason why they picked him. But Arvell Reese, I think, is a better player.
So Big Kirk needs to start. Mendoza needs to start playing slowly and let him get a feel for the big leagues instead of just throwing them into the deep end. I agree.
Sometimes you got to slide in the deep end, Eric.
Yeah, I did a lot of that before. Oh my bad.
See, I didn't say nothing, but when I say something, it'd be a problem.
Here comes the Rams with pick 93. We're gonna talk about them in a minute because clearly they were the talk.
Wow.
They were the talk of the draft as Tavon Austin is out there to announce their next pick. They said Keegan Trosh, a tackle from Missouri. Earlier, they took Max Cale, a tight end from Ohio State. I mean, I don't know how many tight ends Sean McVay needs, but pause. But David Bailey was a good pick. Obviously, Aaron Glenn wants to try that defense going in his image, and this is a good way to start with an edge rusher like him.
Yep.
Number 3. Here we go. We have Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame going to the Arizona Cardinals. Highest running back pick since Saquon in 2018 when Saquon went number 2 to the Giants. Arguably, some people say the best player in the draft. But I hate the fit because obviously Arizona stinks. But this is what happens when you go to a bad team. You see Sean McVay's pretty happy today. He didn't look happy yesterday. But you see, obviously, their first round pick, we'll talk about him, but Max Clear, and then this pick right here with Keegan Trust in day 2. So we got the Dolphins, Patriots, Seahawks, and the Vikings coming up next before we close out day 3 with the Steelers and the Jaguars. But I think you're gonna hear the name Ryan Love a lot, especially if you're a fantasy football player. So he's gonna be one of those guys who gets picked pretty early in fantasy. So just be on the lookout. At number 4, we had the The first, a little surprised, I think, in the draft. But I didn't think he was going to be the first Buckeye we hear name taken, and that was Carnell Tate. And he ended up going to the Tennessee Titans to give a weapon to Cam Ward. Clearly, the Calvin Ridley experience did not work last year, so hopefully Carnell Tate will pay dividends, and they'll be able to continue to develop a chemistry and try to get the Titans back to some type of relevancy in Nash Vegas. And then rounding out the top five, you had Arvell Reese, that the second Buckeye going in the top five, back to back with Arvell Reese going to the New York Football Giants. Obviously, this is the first pick in the John Harbaugh era. And clearly, to me, this is a guy I thought was probably the most talented defensive player in the draft, but he slipped, obviously, because some people just preferred David Bailey, but it's not that. But this is a good pick for him. Sam, I'm just going to have to talk you off the ledge because you're being overly emotional.
Ohio State, who can't block, that's their best blocking tight end.
I'm gonna pull Sam off the ledge because you're ready to just jump out the window like Ron Browse. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this, and then that wasn't the only Buckeye we had taken because we go down to number 7, Sonny Styles, man who pretty much stole the combine, goes number 7 to the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now he's just waiting to see if when his brother Lorenzo Jr. will be getting called this, probably not tonight, definitely tomorrow. And then rounding out the top 10, we had the Cowboys, another Buckeye. I'm going to say this was in number 12, I should say. Caleb Downs going to the Cowboys. Obviously, safety, a lot of teams don't have a high priority for safety.
You know who should have?
I know. And my guy, Jermon McCoy from Tennessee, still sitting out there because of his knee issue.
Mm-hmm.
And Rappaport saying it's going to be like a Will Johnson situation from last year. What up, Candace? Now, this is a dude that could have been towards ACL late in the year. He didn't play in the bowl game.
He could have been a higher pick than this.
Yeah. Thick and strong.
Excuse me?
Pause.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I've heard that before. First team All ACC last year before he tore his ACL. Yeah, despite tearing his ACL late in the year, but this was a physical receiver. And obviously he's going to the Dolphins. He said he's ahead of schedule, so that's a good sign. So the Dolphins knew something. So congratulations to Chris Bell going to the Miami Dolphins. You see their draft. Caden Proctor, Chris Johnson, they took Jacob Rodriguez.
That's what.
Caleb Douglas, Will Camrerick, and then now Chris Bell. And then the talk of the draft, the pick that has everybody talking. It had Sam ready to jump off the leg. He wants to have Leslie fired. And that is Ty Simpson, the Alabama QB, getting picked number 13 by the LA Rams. Deion Branch in the building. Eli Raridon from Notre Dame going to the Patriots as Deion Branch, the former Super Bowl MVP, talking trash to the Steelers fans. This pick was talked about, and if y'all watched the draft show last night, our reaction was shocking. I did not expect Ty Simpson. Now, I knew there was some chatter about him being a first round pick, so it didn't surprise me. But I was shocked that it was the Rams and it was at that high.
I didn't think it was going to be the Rams. But you know what?
But
I was listening to something today. They said the Rams was trying to trade back.
And I also mentioned this last night. Of course, if people don't know, Ty Simpson's dad, Jacob Simpson, is the head coach at UT Middle Tennessee. By the way, the Steelers have just traded their pick to the Seattle Seahawks.
Lakers up 112-108 before 24 seconds left.
Let's go over right quick to Amazon Prime Video. As we said, playoffs are going on right now. We had some games last night. We'll update you on the games that happened last night during the.
Braun got 29. Oh, he got back. Braun got 29, 13-6.
Yes, by the way, leading team in points and assists. The Lakers are up 4 right now. 8 seconds left. Shepard. Şengün for 3. Air ball out of bounds. And the Lakers are about to go up 3-0 on the Houston Rockets and have an opportunity to go for the sweep Sunday night. What up, Chris? But let's talk about, again, the Ty Simpson
Chris,
pick.
what up with it?
The Ty Simpson pick was clearly very polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you saw the press conference after the draft with Sean McVay and Les Snead, they didn't look like they were on the same page. But let's determine that right quick. Here is last night Sean McVay, Les Snead addressing the media after the LA Rams took Ty Simpson with the 13th pick last night.
I think I mentioned it the other day on the call. You can draft someone that you think is going to be immediate and right, it could have an injury. For last year, missed time, and then you're like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to delay it. You can draft someone for the future, there could be an injury, and it's like, wait a minute, that was for the future, and now it's now. So I don't know if you can ever take someone in the draft and say they're going to come in and play, especially on a team like ours. You have to come in, you have to earn equity, you have to earn trust, right? Before we're gonna get a jersey and help us on game day.
Was this the player that you guys identified as targeted, or are you guys looking at some other players that this is the was taken before?
There's a lot of players that we like, but when you do look at it, I think the thing you like about the body of work is, let's this is Matthew's team. We get a chance to be able to address, the backup quarterback. We've got Stetson. We talked about the importance of Jimmy. So to be able to add somebody that you can evaluate a body of work.
Everybody probably like
things that do translate in terms of concepts, reading with the speed, some of the different things in the drop back in the play action game, the movement games. There's a lot of things that Coach Grubb did that's very similar to kind of how we operate. So it made it an easier evaluation to be able to kind of say, all right, what would that look like if we did translate it to our level? But there was a lot of players that we liked, and there was a lot of thought that kind of went into it. And we do feel really fortunate that when you look at the 13th pick, we were able to get that where Atlanta had an interest in getting a player last year. We would have taken Ferguson with our first round pick last year to move back and still get the guy that we wanted, and then basically be able to get an extra pick. And then, oh, by the way, with your original one,
7.4 with
like Trent McDuffie. So a lot of different things, but we're always going to make decisions that will make our best for the short and long term. But we'll be excited to get to work with him, and that's where we're at.
All right, that was Sean McVay and Les Snead from last night.
I didn't hear what Sean McVay said, but I can tell by his body language he didn't look happy at all.
Yeah, I looked at McVay and I could tell he didn't probably want to go quarterback. But let me say, I think this wasn't. Oh, whoops. But I don't think McVay's not going anywhere. He's Sam, relax. He's not going anywhere. This is not the first time the Rams have had disagreements when it comes to with a Rams coach and Leslie have had disagreements on draft picks. Let me ask you this: I'm gonna put it like this. Well, if I would have told you had the head coach, the previous coach before Sean McVay, not listened to Leslie, they probably wouldn't have had one of the greatest defensive tackles in NFL history.
Oh, he didn't want Aaron Donald?
There was not a consensus on Aaron Donald. So people thought he was too short. That he was maybe a change of pace defensive tackle. I don't know what the heck that means. And Les Snead saw it. And I heard DeMarco bring this up today. McVay was the one that was all in on them drafting Tutu Atwell. Where's Tutu Atwell at now?
Miami.
And what did Tutu Atwell do with the Rams?
Absolutely nothing. Oh, he had a couple of touchdowns.
I get they was trying to make him trying to make him Deshaun Jackson light, but it just wasn't working.
He wasn't that.
No, but they're not. You're going to have these type of.
Sam, maybe Snead will be out of here.
Okay, be careful what you ask for.
Please.
Be careful what you ask for.
Please.
Be careful what you ask for.
Matter of fact, I hope y'all get rid of Sam Snead, and then we can go get him.
I'll tell you right now. Be careful what you ask for.
Oh my God, I would love to have Sam Snead.
You know what I mean? Let Snead be out of a job. 5 seconds. It's Easton shoots. And the Lakers are up 3-0 on the Houston Rockets. The question now comes to Sunday. Will we see Kevin Durant?
Nope. We seen last of Kevin Durant in the Houston jersey, I believe.
That's insane. The Los Angeles Lakers are up 3 games tonight. By the way, the Blazers and the Spurs have started already. That game is tied. It's 15 in the first quarter.
Wemby not playing, right?
No Victor Wembanyama. He's still in concussion protocol. Which is not surprised. Only no one thought he was going to play tonight because even flying, he can't do no type of real activity. So, but shout out to LeBron. You did it again. Now we're one win away from sweeping the Houston Rockets, but unfortunately, we all know who they're going to run into in the next round. So shout out to the Lakers for getting that dub. But I will say this again on the whole situation with Les Snead and McVay. They're going to have moments where they disagree, but I don't think this is going to be the end of the. This is not the. They're not finna just. It's not over.
It's not. Sam Snead, they both really good at their job, and the Rams is in a good position year in and year out. Even last year when that was supposed to be a off year for the Rams,
and they went all the way to
the
NFC Championship.
Yeah, look, I mean, dog, when you have things like that happen, you're not gonna get rid of your coach or your GM because y'all both in position. Y'all both putting teams in position to win.
And let's also remember, Les Snead was there before Sean McVay. And it was Les Snead who went to Stan Kroenke, said, hire this 30-year-old. When a lot of people thought it was not a popular decision to hire this 30-year-old offensive coordinator from Washington. Some people thought maybe he was too young for the job. Maybe he wouldn't be mature enough for the job. I think he's proven that. He's proven that real quick. Oh. Another Jacoby getting drafted today. Jacoby Thomas from the U. Going to the Vikings at 98. But what up, Dalton? Les Snead's not going anywhere, and I'm telling you right now, you get rid of him or McVay or both of them, they'll both be out of a job within 5 seconds. They'll have new jobs in 5 seconds. Be careful what you ask for, fans. especially if you want to fire a GM. There's not that many of them roaming these streets.
Not good ones, at least.
Definitely.
Because there's one GM that's doing is making his job to make sure his team not win.
So let's look at how round one looked in yesterday. So here we go. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey, Jeremiah Love, Carnell Tate, Arvell Reese. Mansour Delane, the Chiefs moving up for Mansour Delane, I thought was a reach. You talk about what the Rams did with Ty Simpson. I thought this was just as big of a reach because I didn't see what was the purpose of them moving up to get him at 6. They could easily just got him at number 9. Is Cliff Averill out to make the pick for the Seahawks at number 99? Julian Neal, the cornerback from Arkansas, goes to the Super Bowl champs, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars will close out day 3. And day 2. And and Mark's Bills will open day 3.
Who gives a fuck?
The Laker game was on Prime Video, Sam. By the way, if you're not knowing, all the first round games are now on national. This is the first year with the new TV deal where none of the first round games will be locally broadcast. They'll just all be national broadcast. We'll see if that changes next year. But Mansour Delane was a reach. So obviously, we talk about Sonny Styles, good pick. Jordan Tyson going to the Saints at number 8, and this was a polarizing pick because everyone knew how talented this kid is at Arizona State, but it was all a question about his durability. So now here he is with the Saints. That's sad. It's gonna be okay. Here's the final pick of day 2. It's Paul Pawlowski. Jalen Husky goes to the safety from Maryland, goes to the Jags, and that is day 3 in the books.
Day 2.
I keep saying day 3. Day 2, round 3, I should say. Round 3 is in the books. Now we head to round 4 with Mark's Bills, Knicks Raiders, the Jets, the Arizona Cardinals, and the LA Chargers with the first 5 picks. Come on, when the draft opens at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Hey, John, you might be drafted tomorrow by the first pick.
Never know. Speaking of my picks, the Broncos they'll have the 8th pick in round 4. So we only had 1 pick today. We took a defensive lineman from Texas A&M. Shout out. I forgot his name already.
Who y'all pick?
Yeah, I forget his name, but I saw some video about this kid that was crazy. This dude was climbing on top of buildings like Spider-Man. I was like, yo, where did they find this Negro? But yeah, I just want to see who else the Broncos pick, and then after that, we'll go from there. Draft season is always good. And there we go. Bills will be the first team on the clock tomorrow with pick 101.
They got a lot of time to mess this pick up.
JoJo. And the Steel City, and it is confirmed. Mark Rippon tonight at the draft. The draft next year will be in the nation's capital next year. So,
Chocolate City, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I want to do that.
So let's look at some more of the picks. Spencer Fano went to the Browns at number 9, and Francis Muyala goes to the Giants at 10. I stated earlier we saw Caleb Downs 11 to the Cowboys. Nessa's Dolphins went into Caden Proctor from Bama. Again, the most talked about pick of the night. Ty Simpson going 13 to the Rams. You had Louis Hawaii going to the Ravens at 14. I've been banging. Some people thought would have been like one of the best players in this draft. Sliding to the Buccaneers at 15.
It's a good pick for them.
Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, Blake Miller, the offensive tackle from Clemson, going 17th to the Lions. Caleb Banks from Florida going to the Vikings. You had Mark's boy, Monroe Freeland, going to the Panthers. And then you had probably one of the most awkward moments of the night. Mekhi Lemon, the reigning Biletnikoff winner, goes to the Eagles. But the talk was, but here's the crazy part. He was on the phone with Steelers general manager Omar Khan, and Omar Khan is literally telling him, we're about to draft you. And then the Eagles say, you know what? Not so fast, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they went ahead and made the pick and brought the former SC wide receiver to the city of brotherly love.
Mm-hmm.
But then so the Steelers pivot and they take Max Inu Hocker. Yeah, you had Akeem Messador from the U going to the Chargers. Malachi Lawrence from UCF going to the Cowboys. KC Concepcion from Texas A&M Aggies going to the Browns. Dylan Thieneman going to the Bears.
Not to the Bills.
I mean Bears, my bad. And then you had Keelan Rutledge going 26 to Cody Sexton, Chris Johnson.
Shout out to Cody. He called me earlier.
Yeah, shout out to Cody. I hope you have a good vacation, brother. Chris Johnson going to Nessa Dolphins at 27. Caleb Molu to the Patriots. Peter Woods to the Chiefs. Omar Cook going to the Jets. Keldrick Falk to the Titans. And then Darion Price being the second running back taken also from Notre Dame, going 32 to the Champs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mark, let's look at these first round. What stands out? What don't stand out?
Bias or not bias?
Both.
Not being biased. Mekhi Lemon. I think I had him higher than a lot of people did, but him going to Philadelphia, I think that's a good pickup for them. I thought he was going to go higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaving at.
Yeah, Mekhi Lemon definitely was interesting for me. I had my Ruben Bain sliding to 15. I think the Buccaneers got a steal there. Everybody was pretty much hating on the size of this dude's arms. I don't know what I mean, but NFL owners, NFL scout talent evaluators, they have some weird quirks. That was one, and obviously seeing what's gonna. I'm still trying to understand the Chiefs' logic in moving up 3 spots to take a player who you could have easily got.
Yeah,
where you're at.
I don't understand that pick. I don't understand that pick neither. I'm sorry, I don't understand that pick neither. Then moving up, I thought for sure they was getting a receiver. I thought them moving up, they was go get Jordan Tyson.
By the way, shout out to Rich Tyson wearing that turtleneck.
That's one of my 2 things I'm putting down as I'm noticing.
What, turtlenecks?
No, about Tyrese.
Yeah, so that's what I noticed about day 2 was that we saw about day 1 is what we saw with the Chiefs. Obviously, Mekhi Lemon. I think people were just enamored with the thought of him staying in California playing for the Rams, and it wasn't really. I mean, a lot of people predicted it, but it didn't speak into existence, and now he's an Eagle. He's now an Eagle, so obviously that means we all know now AJ Brown is pretty much on the way out. But here's my thing now. I think everyone's just penciled him to go to the Patriots because of obviously that's been what's been reported out there. But
we should look and see who the Patriots drafted. They might have been picking. They might have been picking for the Eagles.
Well, they took the offensive tackle from Utah. That's what they took. And then we had some day 2 picks. Obviously, today round 2 and 3 of the draft. We just finished seeing round 3. There were some notable players who went today. It didn't go yesterday.
Okay.
One, I think round 2. I love that Denzel Boston pick to the Browns was a good pick.
I think the Browns had a great draft.
That's something I never thought I'd hear It's not something I never thought I'd hear myself say. The Browns had a good draft.
I think the Browns had a really good draft. They got the weapons they needed, and they got everything else they needed too.
They get 2 wide receivers so far in this draft, and with KC Concepcion, they get Denzel Boston. So I'm gonna say this: all you Shador stands, and he got help. We can't say they're trying to sabotage him. And then Deshaun Watson, if you still want to prove that you're that guy, look, this is the time to prove it. The why you guaranteed all this money.
There you go, right there.
So
you looking for that?
Here we go. So listen. So the 49ers, they start off with Dejon Stribling from Ole Miss.
That's a good pick for them.
You had like I said, you had Denzel Boston, but we had 2 quarterbacks go today. We had in the 3rd round. So let's hit you some of the notable picks. Obviously, we had Dejon Stribling. Parks Bills took Jay Parker from Clemson. Cody Texans taking Caden McDonald from Ohio State. Like I just stated, Denzel Boston from Washington going to the Browns.
That's the next question.
Go ahead.
We just paid Greg Russo.
Uh-huh.
We just paid Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
Where he gonna play it? All right, never mind, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Oh man, it's funny. All right,
I learned something. I'll explain it to y'all later. I'll explain it to you later on.
All right, Jacob Rodriguez going to Nessa's Dolphins.
That's a good pickup for the Dolphins.
Jeremy Bernard going to the Steelers from Bama. You had Brothers Unite. Avion Terrell going to the Falcons, reuniting with his older brother AJ in the ATL. You had
that's another good pick.
D'Angelo Ponce.
You know who their coach is?
Who?
The Jet.
Aaron Glenn.
That's who his NFL prototype is.
Wow. You had
I like him. He's a good corner.
And obviously, remember he had the pick 6 in the Oregon game. I saw this kid yesterday on Good Morning Football. The other day on Good Morning Football. Eli Stowers, tight end, going to the Eagles. This was a move that we found out happened during the draft. How about a trade? The Minnesota Vikings sending Jonathan Grenard to the Eagles, and Grenard gets a 4-year, $100 million contract extension with $50 million guaranteed. Mark's boy, Carson Beck.
Excuse me.
My bad. JoJo's boy now, but Carson Beck, who of course was the former quarterback at Georgia, transferred to Miami.
He went between me and JoJo.
Yo, you good?
It's crazy.
That's wild. But he was the first pick of round 3 when he went to the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, Markel Bell from another person from the U getting drafted, and Markel Bell to the Eagles.
Carson went to the Cardinals?
Yes.
Who are they quarterback now?
Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, okay. I think Carson Beck, he's 28 now, but he can.
That's wild.
He can sit behind. He can sit for 1 year.
You have Malachi Fields from Notre Dame going to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I want to talk about right here.
That's a good pickup for them.
Drew Aller
stays
at
home.
76. The Penn State QB, of course, he had the fracture.
He stays home.
It was going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, remember last year they took Will Howard in like the 7th round. They're still waiting on to see what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, but they had Joey Porter Sr. and Jr. Of course, Jr. was his college teammate at Penn State to announce this pick. But if healthy, can he be the face of the Steelers franchise?
Listen, I'm just glad it wasn't the Jets that picked him, because if the Jets would have picked him, I told you what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Jets is a quarterback away from being the second best team in the AFC East.
That's insane for you to say that. And then let's move up. Mark, your boy, you and Nick's boy, Zachariah Branch, staying in Georgia to play for the Falcons in '79. This one hurts for Mark.
John, all year during the USC season, every time Jacoby Lane do something, I'm like, man, you should be in a Buffalo Bill jersey.
Mm-hmm. Which was code for it's probably not going to happen. And it didn't, as he got drafted by the rival Baltimore Ravens at number 80 in the third round.
Salute to Jacoby Lane, man. You going to a winner franchise year.
Yeah, Jennings Dunker going to.
That sounds like a nope. Keep going.
Going to the
Pittsburgh
Steelers in '96. So
Ben Roethlisberger.
So those were the notable picks for day 3. But I want to go back to these.
What she say? Is actually what?
I actually agree.
Oh yeah, not the Greens. Shout out to the big Browns too.
Yeah, shout out to the Browns.
The Browns had a great draft, and everybody who got the Browns is great.
Yes, again, Carson Beck. Let's go. I'm gonna talk about this. Talk about these 2 quarterbacks who went day 2.
I think John, you know how I feel about Carson Beck. You know I'm not a fan of Carson Beck, but I do feel like in a right system, put in the right position, he can be a good quarterback. Man, we seen it with Miami this year. I think he can be good, man. If Arizona can put the right people around him. Wait, their first pick was Jeremiah Love, right?
Ooh, Arizona? Yeah.
And they got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep. And they also signed Tyler Algier this offseason.
Yeah, see, I think that can be a good setup for him. But I don't think he should play this year at all.
Nah, I doubt he plays this year. I think this is going to be Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
And then let's go back to the other quarterback who was taken,
Drew Aller.
Drew Aller from Penn State, going number 76 to the Steelers. He stays in the Pennsylvania area. Obviously, was college teammates with Joey Porter Jr.
And I think this is good for him. I think he wanted to do this. Unfortunately, I don't think he wanted to fall this far because, obviously for money is different. But I think this is the best fit for him. If Aaron Rodgers come back, you can sit for, for a year. Or if you have to start, I think that the Steelers they're gonna be a run team anyway.
Right.
I think, he can learn on the fly. But man, I really a lot of people don't realize that Drew Aller was the number 1 quarterback coming out before the season started, before he got hurt.
He was.
And he was number 1 quarterback for a reason.
And let me say this. The quarterback room right now for the Steelers is Mason Rudolph and Will Howard. You don't tell me you don't think if Drew Howard's healthy, he's not out. He's not out for him.
Yes.
Come on, now what are we talking about? Come on. But that's Drew Howard at 76. The other news today. We're going to Rio. Wow, my birthday weekend is going to be pretty interesting. This was announced during the draft. The Ravens Cowboys will play the annual game in Rio.
The annual game?
Annual. You good?
Oh. It's crazy.
They play not that Rio.
Playing the annual game is crazy.
Yeah. That is wild. The Cowboys and Ravens will play in the annual Rio game in Brazil Sunday, September 27th. Yeah. He wild.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Candace, he wild, man.
Wait, what'd I do?
Man.
I didn't even say it. John said it. You know what?
See? Ah! See? I ain't say anything. See?
Here we go again.
Run the tape. But yeah, this game will happen. They're going to announce the full NFL schedule in about a couple weeks. So in May,
JoJo, the people in the picture is being the booty bandit.
yo, you good?
That's why he turned around.
Yo, Shad, what's wrong with you? Go back to work, dog.
See?
Yo, Shad, go back.
See? That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Shad, go back to work, dog.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Go back to work, Shad. Go back to work, Shad. You hating now.
Nah, he telling the truth.
No, he hating now. Man, well, don't you got some hate Aaron Rodgers supposed to be hating on right now?
No.
No, they're not saying anything about
He
anal.
right.
That's hate, man. That's hate.
He right.
Man, I see that BS from on. All right, man. But this game will happen September 27th in Rio on CBS and Paramount Plus. Obviously, the last two is the
Why
third.
is he bent over?
They tried to penetrate the middle.
See, I told you.
Why would you see that video of Derrick Henry? He was doing a autograph signing, and someone brought a picture of him getting tackled by Cooper DeJean and asked him to sign it.
Did he sign it?
No, he threw it away and told the kid to leave.
Oh, he should have just signed it, dog.
Nessa, relax. Why are you looking at me like that?
Listen, I'm looking at the TV, man. I'm looking at this game. Good game. 36-34.
No Wemby right now. By the way, are you see everything that's going on with the Portland Trailblazers? Their new owner, cheap sketch. You know, usually how the Rose Garden, well, it's the Moda Center now, but it used to be the Rose Garden.
Rose Garden. Mm-hmm.
How they used to have every playoff game had the Rip City t-shirts.
Uh-huh.
Where they at?
Oh, they're not doing it. What the hell?
Their new owner, he wants to pay the next head coach. They've already talked to 20 head coaches. How disrespectful is that to Tiago Splitter right now?
In the middle of a playoff run. That's crazy.
And all the stuff that he had to basically keep together with the whole Chauncey Billups situation. What up, Isaac?
See, JoJo understand. JoJo see what's going on here.
How about them Packers, Isaac? How the Packers? How you liking the Packers draft? Nope,
Daddy?
nope. But yeah, that game goes down in Rio de Janeiro in the next 3 months. So yeah, that is going down with the Ravens and the Cowboys. Usually the last 2 years the games was on YouTube. What up, Drell? I said Packers. So really?
See,
John. See, I said Green Bay.
John, they
on some.
No, you.
Me.
You, they hearing you. I'm glad they hearing you what they on is.
What are we talking about here?
It's right there in the chat, John. Everybody hearing you.
I said Green Bay. Packers. I didn't say Green Bay Packers.
You see when a Packer tissue green?
Isn't that kind of
that's crazy?
That's kind of wild, don't you think?
Wait, what?
By the way, LeBron James
don't make sense.
What?
He number 4 in playoff threes in Laker history?
Yeah, it does make sense. Because it's probably Kobe, Jerry West, and Derek Fisher, probably the top 3, if I had to guess.
This is crazy.
But those are that. But that's one. But those we'll talk about for day 2. Anything stand out for you with day 2, Mark?
Can I express what I realized about the Bills?
Of course you can.
There's 31 teams who GM is trying to help them team win.
Mm-hmm.
I think is one GM that is actively trying to make sure his team doesn't win.
And who would that be?
The Buffalo Bills GM.
What's the name?
Brandon Bean. I don't understand how you. Not only did he not get fired, though, he got a raise. That whole front office is it's a shit show in Buffalo.
Well, what's the cure besides firing Brandon Bean, which is clearly not going to happen?
Well, I'm be honest with you. If the higher ups got rid of the Pagulas too, I'm not mad at that. From what I hear, the Buffalo Sabres is a bad ran organization too.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, nothing gets full. Yeah, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and give you we're gonna go through the picks from rounds 2 and 3.
Why did we trade up? And
Look, y'all traded back 3 times.
Like, then we trade up in the end of the second round to get that corner that would have been there in the 4th round. I'm confused about everything Brendan Bean doing.
That's your GM. But yeah, rounds 2 and 3.
GM stand for goofy mode.
What? It's on my. Okay, this is hate.
Everybody subscribe to the Only Johns.
Yo, what's wrong with you?
If you only you might only hear the words now, but if you go to the Only Johns, there's more action there. And he had a great weekend. Somebody was putting cups to the door, and the neighbors knew everybody's name. So
I see. Okay, see that BS we on. I see that BS we on tonight.
What?
Okay. Cups to the door, huh?
Well, I'm just telling you what was transcribed to me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I wasn't there, so I don't know what the truth is.
Transcribed?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was true or not. But what I was told is everybody knew everybody's name.
All right, man. Let's look at round 2. Let's look at the picks in round 2. So let's look at these. Just blame the black guy for everything. No, JoJo, relax.
Nessa said the Vegas special still going on. 69% off.
Yo, you good?
And apparently they didn't need cups.
Okay.
Well, one person needed a cup because it's. Yeah,
Chris, what you laughing for? Okay, all right, that ain't funny. Well, I don't know what y'all talking about personally.
Listen, no names just said. I just said the Only Johns is 69% off from the Vegas special. There's a lot of wrestling going on.
I didn't know. They heard someone was called Surf Freaking Lot in Vegas. I don't know who that was.
And if you want a premium subscription, use code.
What the heck is going on?
John, how come you didn't mention that before the show that you got you got another tier of the OnlyFans?
I don't even know what this is about, yo. I'm trying to talk food. I'm trying to talk about foosball right now.
It was somebody fooling with some balls, all right.
I'm just trying to talk about Joe Montana.
Yeah. You said Joe Montana on it? What'd you say?
What
you just said? That's crazy.
All right. I see top BS.
All right.
Okay. So here's how round 2. As I said, we see Dejon Sterling from Ole Miss. That was a good pick. Obviously, Mark boys take TJ Parker. Cody's boys took Caden McDonald.
He better.
My guy Colton Hood.
He better than Jalen Waddle.
My boy Colton Hood went to the Giants for All Nation stand up. Nick's boys took Trevon Stukes. This the pick I like. We all agree on, and that's Denzel Boston going to the Browns. Yo, what is going on?
Elephant Tuggies is crazy.
What the heck? All right, man. I don't even know.
Elephant Tuggies is crazy, dog.
Kids, cover your ears, please.
Elephant Tuggies is out of pocket. All right.
Kids, please cover your ears, please.
Thin Walls is the.
All right, I see. Talk about.
Wait, they got behind the scenes. I just want to love them.
Yeah, Drill, they're tripping. They tripping. By the way, RIP Bill Walton.
Rest in peace, Bill Walton.
But some other picks. Trails boys took Christian Miller. Your boy Christian Miller from Georgia. Let's say Jacob Rodriguez going to Ness. Yeah. Hey, yo, what up, Will? They over here wilding. Nessa's boys took Jacob Rodriguez. By the way, he was the number 3 dual quarterback when he came out of college.
No, out of high school?
Yeah, out of high school. He was right. You know who's 1 and 2?
Who?
1 was Caleb Williams.
Who else was in that class with him?
They said it tonight. I think it was Caleb Williams, and I think it was Carson. No, it wasn't Carson Beck.
Carson Beck, 85, dog.
It was Caleb Williams and somebody else, but he was the number 3 dual threat quarterback.
What year is that? 2021?
Yeah.
Nope. 2020?
About 2021.
Go ahead. You keep talking.
Derek Moore to the Lions. Zion Young to the Ravens. That's a typical Ravens pick. How about Josiah Trotter? Another Trotter is in the NFL, dude. We had Jeremiah Trotter. We had Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Now we got Josiah Trotter going to the Buccaneers. Like I said, Bernard going to the Steelers. Avion Terrell to the Falcons. D'Angelo Pounds to the Jets. Ponds to the Jets.
Pounds is crazy.
I guess that's what he meant. We said, how does it feel? Brandon Cisse going to the Packers. Mark's boy CJ Allen went to the Colts. Like I say, Eli Stowers to the Eagles. You had one of Nessa's boys, Nate Bolkirker, going to the.
What was his name?
Bolkirker.
Eli Stowers.
Yeah, he's a tight end for Vanderbilt. This one was interesting. A lot of people thought he would be in the first round, but he fell late to the second round. That was Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety from Toledo. But he stays in the state of Ohio because he's now going to play for the Browns. Play with the Browns.
The top. That's crazy. He was a quarterback too.
Who?
Eli Stowers.
Yeah, he was. He was a quarterback. He had showed.
So everybody and all the quarterbacks that came out of high school that year was Quinn Ewers, Caleb Williams, Sam Hurd, Drake May.
That's who it was. It was Sam. It was Drake May and Caleb.
JJ McCarthy, Cal McCord, Ty Thompson, Eli Stowers, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe. Who else is on here? Oh, Garrett Nessmeyer. Yeah, whatever you want to say it. I don't see Duke on here.
But Jacob Rodriguez was a top 3 dual quarterback. So they talked about it tonight. I say Marlon Klein going to Cody's boys from Michigan. Max Clare from Ohio State going to the Rams, another tight end going there. Your boys say Davison Abijan, and then rounded out with Bud Clark going to the Super Bowl. Bud Clark. Oh. Yo, Nessa and JoJo, y'all gotta relax.
What did JoJo say?
Nessa talking about who nothing. I mean, that's crazy. And then here round 3, we just thought about it.
There was a lot in that timeshare.
You all right, man? You all right? You good? You good? You good?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm here.
Carson Beck going to the Cardinals. My Broncos make their only pick at the draft of the first 2 days because we of course acquired Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins, and we took Tyler the DM from Texas A&M. You had Antonio Williams from Clemson going to the Commanders. Mark, your boy Oscar Delp going to the Saints.
Oh shit! I didn't know he got drafted.
At number 73, Malachi Fields from Notre Dame to the Giants. Caleb Douglas to Nessa's Dolphins because again Drew Allard, the QB from Penn State, going to the Steelers. Zachariah Branch staying in Georgia to go to the Falcons. Jacoby Lane going to the Ravens at 80. Sorry, Mark. My guy Chris Brazil going from Tennessee going to the Panthers at 83. You had and then Chris Bell from Louisville going to the Dolphins at 94. And that pretty much was some of the notables in our eyes from round 3. Anybody stand out to you in round 3, Mark?
Honestly, I didn't know Oscar Delp got drafted.
Yes, he did.
I think that's a good pickup for the Saints. And they got Jordan Tyson, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they got some weapons over there.
They signed Travis Etienne.
Oh, for real? Okay. So the Saints is doing, they did their thing.
Is Etienne the whole time? And we were saying Etienne, but it's really Etienne.
Etienne.
It's like, is it Kelsey or Kels?
He said Kels. Dylan Everett.
Hang on.
Of course, that's me being biased. I think he's going to be a solid corner in the league. But like we talked about him earlier, man. Drew Aller.
Drew Aller is going to the Steelers, and we don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, so we got to keep an eye on that story for sure. But yeah, that's day 2 of the draft. Relax.
Where's it?
I'm not repeating that on air. Just relax. I'm just gonna say it's relax. You know what you said. Relax.
I don't understand.
Area 51. And we're back. Yeah.
You leave me hanging?
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Cali. Relax. All right. Next. Let's get to the National Basketball Association. We have some awards. Wow, really? By the way, Blazers are up 4 on the Spurs right now. But we had some NBA to talk about before we get on this Friday. Let's go ahead and get into it. We have some NBA awards handed out since our last show. Let's start Sixth Man of the Year. Keldon Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, none of us said Keldon Johnson at the beginning of the year, so I don't really need to know what.
Was named Sixth Man of the Year. The voting went like this.
Congratulations to him.
He went first. Jaime Jaquez second. Tim Hardaway Jr. third. Naz Reid, who was last year's Sixth Man of the Year, came in fourth in that category. And then today they announced the NBA's most improved player. That goes to Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Oh.
Didn't make the All-Star.
Oh, this is why they saying McCoy is dropping. He's going to need another season ending surgery.
Possibly.
Oh, shit. Yeah. All right, go ahead. My bad, John.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker, your most improved player this year. And I had to let me give you how that voting went down, but he beat out Jalen Duren and Denny Avila to be this year's most improved player. So here's how that voting went. He obviously came in first place. Jalen Duren came in second. Denny Avila came in third. Obviously, Duren and Avila are both all-stars, and we've seen what Denny Avila has been doing with the Blazers, and they're looking at it right now. They're up 7 on the win-beat list. For San Antonio Spurs is Keldon Johnson, the reigning Sixth Man of the Year, is on the floor. But congratulations to those two. Those 2 awards went down. Is it Oxtail or Oxtails? Oxtails.
It's Oxtail.
It's Oxtails. It's plural if you had more than one.
I explained that wrong. And both of them is right. What Jonathan is right, but the saying of I have oxtail is plural itself.
Yeah, I want an oxtail, but you're cooking it, it's oxtails. So yeah, but congratulations to Keldon Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker on winning those awards this week. Look, mama called it cut. You say potato, I say potato. All right.
It's for sure oxtail. Y'all don't say fishes.
So I see. So it's definitely on the night, huh? All right.
It's oxtail, man.
Yeah, but so far it's a. So what you asked the question for then?
It's an oxtail.
What you asked the question for then? I just want to hear myself be right.
That's oxtail. But like I said, in context, both of them is right. But it's oxtail. It's oxtail. If you're
in the store buying it, it's oxtail.
If you go to a restaurant, it's oxtail. I'm telling you.
But my mom's.
If you want to play, you want to play oxtail? They don't say oxtails. You want to play the oxtail? All right, cool. I'm just telling you what it is.
I know, but when mom's over here and she has the crock pot out, she's cooking oxtails. Because she's cooking.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, you just want to ask rhetorical questions on a Friday. No Wemby again, concussion protocol. But let's go ahead and recap how the NBA playoffs is looking right now with what's going on with a full slate of games this weekend. And now we know that we're going to possibly have some possible eliminations.
Ooh, we got one possible.
That could be on the horizon. On the horizon. So let's go ahead and talk about what we got right now. So let's start back on that round ball. By the way, now the Blazers are up 8 right now on the Spurs. Again, no Wemby. But yeah, let's go ahead and recap what's going down the last couple of days, since I know we've all been entrenched in the NBA in the NFL draft. So let's let you know what you've been missing on the NBA front. Let's go back to since our last show. Since our last show Tuesday, of course, we were on air when the Lakers did win on Tuesday. After we went off the air, they're up 2-0. But Wednesday, the Detroit Pistons bounced back, defeating the Orlando Magic. The OKC Thunder continue to dominate. They take a 2-0 lead over the Suns. Last night, how about the Atlanta Hawks now are up 2-1 on the New York Knicks? Until Mark said it, and now it's starting to look like it. The Knicks could get got. The Knicks could get got if they don't win. They don't win this next game in Atlanta.
I think the Knicks are in trouble.
Yeah, I think in trouble on and off the court.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's gonna be some changes if they go out in the first round. There's gonna be some changes.
Everybody but Jalen Brunson is on the block,
pretty much, and Mike Brown might be out of a job.
1 year.
Tell you, man, I still got a theory that I think Dan Hurley wants to be the coach of the Knicks.
Man, if Doc Rivers, never mind.
I mean, and then the Raptors, they finally get a win over the Cavaliers. Cavaliers still are up 2-1, and Minnesota Timberwolves are
shocking.
They're pretty much saying they're not intimidated by the Denver Nuggets, and they're showing it. And they're now up 2-1 on the Nuggets. Meanwhile,
they play tonight.
They played last night. They play tomorrow.
They'll play tomorrow night.
They'll play tomorrow night. They'll play the last game tomorrow. We'll get to that schedule in a second. But so far today, the Celtics, they take a 2-1 lead over the Sixers. My Lakers are now up 3-0 on a Houston Rockets team that did not have Kevin Durant tonight. And now they're on the verge of sweeping the Rockets on Sunday and in H-Town. And right now we got game 3 between the Blazers and Spurs. And the Blazers are up 8. Tomorrow, let's let you know what the schedule is looking like. On NBCS, on Peacock and NBCSN.
On Pete's what?
I said Peacock.
Oh.
We got Pistons Magic from Orlando. And then all the NBC games can be seen on Peacock. But on NBCSN is Pistons Magic. Then the doubleheader on NBC.
Who pissed on Magic?
Yo, you good?
Oh, my bad. All right.
You got Thunder and the Suns in Phoenix. What?
Nothing.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thunder Nuggets. I said Thunder and the Suns in Phoenix, followed by the Knicks and the Hawks in Atlanta. Those 2 games will be on NBC. All 3 of the games are available on Peacock, and then the nightcap on ABC is going to be Nuggets Timberwolves from Minnesota. And then Sunday, we got doubleheaders on ABC and on NBC, on ESPN and on ABC. We start with Cavs Raptors in Toronto, game 4. And the 2 teams we're watching right now play a Sunday afternoon special with the Spurs and the Blazers at 12:30. Then over on NBC, we got game 4 with the Celtics and the Sixers. And that'll be followed by the Lakers and the Rockets as the Lakers look to go for the sweep Sunday night and possibly could have Austin Reeves on Sunday. He did try to go today during pregame warmups, but he was ruled out after being listed as questionable in the last 24 hours. And then Monday, the series continues. Is over on NBC. We got Pistons Magic followed by Timberwolves Nuggets, and then on NBCSN Thunders versus the Suns. But all those games are on Peacock. And then we're on the show on Tuesday. We'll be live during these 3-game fives. Obviously, Celtics Sixers will already have happened. We'll be near the end of Hawks Knicks, and then watching that game will be on. By the way, that game will be on NBC. Celtics Sixers will be on ESPN, followed by Blazers and the Spurs. That's on ESPN as well. So that's how the schedule keeps you going in the NBA. Yo, Nick, Will, relax. What up, Isaiah? Mike Brown from the Knicks coach, Mike Brown. Noodle, that's why I think he can get fired.
Hey, I'm glad y'all heard him say that because that's the reason why I looked at him.
I was saying Thunder Nuggets, but I got they're not playing.
They're not playing Nuggets. That wasn't even no point. That was like when that white girl said nigga on TV. Wait.
Yeah, you good?
What was her name?
Michelle Beadle.
Yes.
What up, JT? What up, JT? Well, I don't know. I plead the fifth on that one, JoJo.
Nobody was pleading the fifth, apparently.
Yeah, you good?
John, my bad. That was unnecessary. I'm gonna do better.
I said it's crappy on the.
You said it kind of claps.
I just see what type of crap dudes is on today. Just I heard just anything these days. But that's how the NBA schedule is looking. Look, man, I'm watching the game right now. I don't know what she's talking about, but that's what it's looking. But that's what it's looking like. Day 3 of the draft. By the way, Broncos have the Mr. Irrelevant pick this year.
Brandon Bean, draft him
with the last pick in the draft.
Yes, draft Brandon Bean, please.
You know the Mr. Irrelevant gets celebrated out here. You know that, right?
Oh,
so I don't know if y'all know the history of Mr. Irrelevant. It was a guy named Paul Salata who's playing the NFL, and he wanted to do something for the guy who was the last pick in the draft. So he's passed on, but his daughter Melanie Salata, Fitch, she keeps the tradition going. Where
what's her last name?
Finch.
No,
Fitch.
The S word.
Salata.
Oh, I thought you said saliva.
No, Salata.
Shit. She got that sloppy.
Yeah. Drell said I don't think Brandon Bean could be more irrelevant if you tried. Oh man. But they obviously they get a custom made Mr. Irrelevant jersey and they bring him out here. They take him a trip to Disneyland. They get a parade through Newport Beach, and that's it. And obviously, we've had a couple of Mr. Relevants who've made it. And obviously, most recently being Brock Purdy. JoJo, go to bed. Go to bed, please.
She couldn't go to bed, from what I was told.
Yo, you good?
It was like somebody knocking on the door.
What? Or pacing. All right. Anyway, but yeah, tomorrow. Look, when it's day 3 of the draft, it's picks 4 through 7, rounds 4 through 7. You're just trying to find diamonds in the rough. Look, that was the day you saw that the Rams found Puka Nacua. 49ers found George Kittle. The Patriots found some guy named Tom Brady. Like I said, the 49ers found Brock Purdy. The Titans or the Buccaneers? They found Ryan Suckup, the punter.
Ryan who?
Ryan Suckup.
Oh,
that was the punter. The punter. That's who I think was.
See, JoJo said it sounded like an earthquake. She couldn't sleep.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't know if she's talking about that or the pacing. Either one is crazy.
By the way, De'Aaron Fox just got technical. He has 4 fouls already.
They falling apart without the alien freak.
Yeah, there he is. Obviously, he was able to make the trip, but he can't play. He probably play Sunday.
He better play Sunday.
If he doesn't play Sunday, they're toast. And I actually would be happy for that. That means that'd be if the Lakers. Well, the Lakers ain't gonna pull no upset against OKC. But dang,
This is the only team that can beat OKC, I think.
probably. But shout out to the WNBA. They're gonna be.
Why do?
Oh, there's my calling out names too.
Is that sexual harassment?
I don't know. They like bumping chests.
What's your calling out names? WNBA.
It's WNBA related. I'm gonna get it for you in a second because there's some. Look, I'm not a hater, but someone got to answer some questions. I need some questions answered. I really need some questions answered about with this new money the WNBA is getting. Something gotta be explained to me because I need to know where's the WNBA priorities and who they promoting, and I'm all for everybody getting their bag. And obviously they got the new TV deal with Prime, NBC, USA. You're going to be seeing a lot of WNBA legends on TV now. But I got some questions because what I saw over the other day really was like, okay, what are we doing?
What Dolly doing on TV?
Well, gotta get that back.
Gotta get what?
Gotta get that back.
Oh.
Now, here we go. There's a tweet right there. All right, so here we go. Time for the finals. Hey, yo, that's a crazy name. All right, so it's time for the final segment.
John Judge.
Someone needs. Whoops. All right, Sam. Look. So let's start off with the segment that's often imitated, never duplicated. Some people say stuff in the sports world and they got to be called out for it. And this is the place where we do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the greatest segment in the world. It is time for calling out names. All right.
Gucci.
So, Sam was last night during the draft show. His calling out names was Les Snead drafting Ty Simpson. That was a reach and a stupid ass draft pick. So far, terrible draft as a whole. I'm gonna say this right now to you, Sam. I need you to really, Whoops. Here's the deal. I know everyone wants to. What's wrong with Scott Van Pelt? What's wrong with Scott? SVP's cool, Rashad. Here's what I'm gonna say about which one of your Les Snead takes right now. If you let Les Snead get fired, I'm telling you right now, he'll be out of job 5 minutes. But I'm gonna say this again. Everyone's focusing on Ty Simpson. That was only the third time the Rams have picked in the first round as they moved back there. The other 2 times, they took Jared Goff 1, and then 2 years ago they took Jared Verse in the mid to late first round, and he was defensive rookie of the year. I trust Les Snead, but this was a lot of people thought it was a terrible pick. Look, we said it last night. It was a terrible pick, Sam. But I think people were focusing on that because everyone's like, well, what happened to F them picks mode and them trying to find and putting pieces around Stafford? Well,
he still said F them picks.
He did, literally.
He just picked them.
And here's the deal. Y'all still have the same squad coming back next year. Y'all didn't lose Kyron Williams. Y'all didn't lose Blake Corum. Y'all didn't lose Devontae Adams, even though there was talk about might be him getting traded if y'all was to get A.J. Brown. Y'all still got Puka Nacua despite all the dumb stuff he's done in the offseason. You got like 20 freaking tight ends. Pause. I mean, but y'all do have to fix the line. Rob Havenstein retired and everything.
Shout out to the tight ends.
Save it for Wednesday, Nessa. Save it for Wednesday, but I hear you. Yeah, I get it. FTK is FTKO, but say that for Wednesday, ladies. We'll definitely discuss that on Sports View Wrestling on Wednesday.
Just another love TKO.
Yeah, you good? But he's not starting. It will only be bad if he was starting. This dude will not see the light of day unless Matthew Stafford has a catastrophic injury. And I guarantee he won't see the light of day for the next 2 to 3 years. You can book it.
2 years at least.
2 years at least. And they're working on an extension with Stafford now. So don't even worry about it. And y'all still going to find players because every year the Rams always find someone we don't know about on days 2 and 3. I know who Cooper Kupp was. They know who Tyler Higbee was. Honestly, I didn't know who Puka Nacua was. My guy Byron Young, Vol Nation, let's get it. Kobe Turner. I can name your whole team with the exception of Jared Verse was pretty much a bunch of second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh round picks and undrafted free agents. And then y'all traded for Matthew Stafford. Kyron Williams was a 5th round pick. Blake Corum was a 3rd round pick. But do not let this one pick ruin the draft. It is not over. Yeah. So it's Puka with the. I do not know that. He has not confirmed or denied. If Puka Nacua is dating Charlotte Flair, yeah, you good? All right, but here's my calling out names. Yo, you good? My calling out names is the WNBA. So, WNBA, we know, talk about they just got their bag and all these players are getting their money. Shout out to them all. Getting millions. But
none can fly men out.
So now
women out.
They're getting ready to release their WNBA schedule.
Or fly out a bike pump.
Are you good? Fly out a what?
Nothing. Don't even worry about it. I ain't think nobody listen to me, dog.
Yeah, right. But this stat.
What's fat?
This stat right here. And that is the fact that we're going to have that all 44 regular season games of the Indiana Fever will be nationally televised.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm all for it. Until I seen the rest of this list. The Dallas Wings with 36.
Mm-hmm.
Paige and Ozzy Fudd.
They want to see that couple. They want that coupling. Be a throuple. You heard?
Who's the third? Skylar Diggins? No, she's in Chicago. Enrique? She just got married. I don't know.
Luca.
He's not there.
Perfect place for it.
The New York, you crazy. The New York Liberty have 35.
Mm-hmm.
But the reigning NBA champion Las Vegas Aces with the best player in the world, in Asia Wilson, have only 33 of 44 nationally televised games.
Mm-hmm.
Sparks 31.
But I still don't see what the problem is.
How do the heck do this? Why are all the Aces games on national television? My question.
Why aren't?
Yes.
Who won a championship last year in the NBA?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Do you think that the Lakers are bringing more viewership to Oklahoma City?
Of course I do.
So you think that the Lakers should have more national televising games than?
I don't, but personally, but I live in LA, so I can watch them anytime I
want.
want.
Just saying,
I get what you're saying, but it to me, I'm not knocking it, but I'm thinking the Aces. There shouldn't be if you're putting the Thunder on because you know the Fever on because we all know everyone wants to see Caitlin Clark. We already know that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't tell me there's more people who want to see this couple over Asia Wilson. Come on now.
Oh, I don't get that. I don't understand.
If you want to put the Fever all 44 games on national TV, be my guest.
I don't understand that.
Be my guest. But don't tell me you can't do the same thing for the Aces.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Aces should be higher, but the Fever having number one, man, business is business, man. Y'all,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, business is business.
But having these other two teams ahead of them, that's that's wrong. And the feast and the wings, we all know the controversy there. And by the way, what did you make of that press conference when Ozzie Fudd was asked about Paige Becker?
I'll probably be in the wrong on it. I mean, people go take this the wrong way, but she should answer the question.
She should have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have babied her.
I didn't like it.
You have to if y'all want to get paid the big bucks, you have to go through what the big bucks have to go through.
And then for them to say she's not answering any questions, I'm like, that was weak. That was weak. I didn't like it at all. I want to find what happened.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that they did that. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't in like a cheese bosa, or it wasn't like a messy way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the way the question even was asked, I think was in a respectful way.
I didn't understand it either. And for the PR to say she's not answering those type of questions, I'm like, come on now, what are we doing? This comes with the territory. You're not a little kid no more. You're a grown woman, and you gotta know. I wish I could find the exact question, but yeah, it was not to me, like Mark said, it was not out of pocket, and all they did was just basically ask the question. How is she gonna handle it? But they went on. What?
No, go back. Did they say that?
Yo, that's wild. Oh, here it is. Actually, here it is. So let me cut the beat right quick.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yo, JoJo, relax. But here's what Ozzie Fudd said.
Wait, what did I say? Why didn't I say Marcus?
I don't know, but
I didn't even did nothing.
But this was what Ozzie Fudd said about asked if she's still dating.
That is still the case, and if so, if y'all have talked to any other Paige announced last year on TikTok that y'all were a couple, and I'm wondering if that is still the case, and if so, if y'all have talked to any other couples in the league about how they negotiate that dynamic as pro teammates.
I understand why you have to ask that question, but we're going to respectfully decline from commenting on our players' personal life. So next question.
PR is wrong. PR is wrong. This comes with the territory. You're the number one pick in the draft. You gotta answer the tough questions. You can't get past. Nobody can pacify you now.
That's a fact.
So I didn't like how that went, and I said I don't have no problem with the Fever having. What I do?
John, don't relax. Apparently,
but yeah, you good? But my thing was, well, that's good to know, Nessa. My thing is, she didn't ask the question out of pocket, and we know there are many WNBA couples that have done this before. So what makes y'all any different? Because y'all the last two number one overall picks. I didn't like it, and I thought Dallas PR team was weak for not letting her address the question.
Yeah,
but that's my call on names. Give more games to the Aces. But I have no problem with the Fever having all 44 games. But y'all still should have found a way to make sure Asia Wilson's on the TV every game. Every time a television is turned on to a WNBA game. But that's just me.
My turn.
Go ahead.
I slightly touched it earlier. Pause. That's crazy.
You touched what?
It's crazy. That was out of pocket.
Wild.
I've come to I think I'm putting myself on calling no names.
Oh boy.
I'm coming to the realization that my favorite team, GM, is in the business to not win. And I think I have to just accept that now. Like Brandon Beane is doing everything in his abilities to make sure Buffalo don't win a championship.
Yeah, I don't know what Brandon Beane's doing. Like I said last night during the draft party, if you didn't want it, you had three. You didn't want. You had no intention of drafting, using the pick. Then you should have just traded it when you had the chance. And you could have got Jalen Waddle. But how about tomorrow? AJ DeBanza, who announced that he's entering the NBA draft, will be by the Amazon Prime Studio tonight, along with a new edition of Marshawn Lynch's In Your City.
New edition?
No. So Marshawn Lynch did this during football season where he goes to the local city during Thursday night football and frequent some of the local patrons. So now he's going to do that for the NBA version during the playoffs.
Bro, that's dope.
But AJ DeBanza officially announced he's entering the draft. So did
number 1 pick.
So did Darius Acuff Jr. And today we found out Darren Peterson also entered the NBA draft. We already know Caleb Wilson's entering the draft. But yeah, by the way, this just happened maybe about 45 minutes ago. And that is Sean McVay and Les Snead have addressed the media about the awkwardness what happened last night during the press conference.
Well, I want this shirt.
With in regards to Sam Duttice. Which one? Yeah, that's a wild shirt, but I approve that message. So I want to play real quick a little bit about this, and then we're gonna get up out of here. But this was this was just night 45 minutes ago. Sean McVay and Les Snead doing their day 2 draft press conference, and Sean McVay having a totally different attitude as he did yesterday.
What do you guys think? Am I angry right now? I will say this though. The one thing that would never be doubted is, we could be in more lockstep in every decision that we make. And I think I get my demeanor last night, and so what do you mean, Gary? You were tweeting about it last night, man. I don't act like you weren't, but we're excited about it. There's different things, I think, always want to be mindful of, all right, how things come off, things like that. Very excited about last night, very excited about today, and couldn't be more excited about us continuing to lead together. But every decision that we make is collective and collaborative. And so for any of the questions or misunderstandings just based on my demeanor or disposition last night, I did want to get that out of the way. And so that was brought to my attention because
this is fake and made up. That's all this should look fake.
That was never my intended way to be able to come off. But
I did hear it. Travis did predict that. They saw me see McVay. He's gonna be typical McVay.
No,
all this should look fake.
Well, there was other things that had nothing to do with that.
All this should look made up. Like it looked like they made them do this.
Couldn't be more excited about being able to add him, but also understanding of how much I love Matthew Stafford, how respectful you want to always be.
Now, I do think this had a lot to do with McVay's relationship with Matthew Stafford.
The demeanor would have been stoic by nature because
I agree with Sam.
But by no means, it is Matthew's football team. Excited.
All these fans aren't. Well, fans are not excited, Sam. But let's be clear.
I agree with Sam.
The Rams didn't blow the draft.
This is performative.
Yeah,
and they knew what was going on. And they want to get in front of it before anything else happened. I mean, but this is a good franchise, unlike another franchise that just.
Yeah, I mean, so I understood. Look, and I heard this on the radio. People were not shocked that McVay would do damage. This was pretty predictable, though, that McVay was going to do damage control because he knows he didn't look like the typical Sean McVay we've seen throughout the last 10 years that he's been in the NFL as a head coach. So he knew what was.
Oh, the real Brandon Beane. What's up, man?
Yeah. So he knew how
that's
bad.
That's who our GM root for.
Oh, he roots for the Jets. We don't know that, Sam. You don't know that.
And here real quick.
Go ahead. We don't know that, Sam. Look, right now, I'm gonna say no, but until we see it, until we see him actually play, I mean, I'm not gonna judge the 15 games. he's doing the Rams are doing what the coach should have did when they drafted Anthony Richardson, who only played 13 games. They drafted him and they're gonna sit him down.
I want this comment.
So this from Drell saying, I don't know what Buffalo's doing. You fire McDermott without basically holding Josh Allen accountable for that playoff game. You promote Bean. Like, what are we doing here? It was
Let me
go ahead.
First off, I want to say Josh Allen played like shit that game. I'm the first person to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also will say is Josh Allen put us in position to win.
Yeah.
We was up by 4 with under 3 minutes left. Including the turnovers, as bad as he played, we was up 4 with 3 minutes left. And just like in every other playoff loss, the defense chooses not to show up. That's why Sean McDermott got fired. He's a good defense, and it's not just the first time or the second time or the third time this happened. So yeah, as bad as Josh Allen played, and I'm the first one to say Josh Allen was playing like shit. Him playing like shit still put us in position to win, and we should have won that game. No offense to John. We should have won that game. Up 4 with under 3 minutes left on a 3rd and 11. Sorry. That's not on Josh Allen.
All right. Yeah, you did your call on names.
Yeah, Brandon Bean. He a piece of shit.
Brandon Bean. So
yeah, he a piece of shit. He's actively trying not to win. Not trying not to win.
If my Rams fall short, needs should be okay. Sam.
Oh yeah, fire him. Please fire
Sam.
him.
I'm there. I'm Sam.
Sam, let's trade. Matter of fact, Sam, let's trade.
Sam, I'm trying to.
No, John, chill.
I know.
Hey, Sam, we can trade. Y'all can have Brandon Bean and his assistant, whoever is there.
All right. I'm just saying right now, be careful what you ask for. Because I think the simple fact that people want Les Snead fired after one bad draft pick is insane. When I can name about 5 to 10 draft picks he made that nobody knew anything about. Nobody knew who Tyler Higbee was. Nobody knew who Cooper Kupp was. Nobody knew who Puka Nacua was. Nobody knew who Kobe Turner was. What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You found you got Kyron Williams in the 5th round. You bought Blake Corum in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The simple fact that he was the guy who found arguably one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time, and people were saying he was too short to play the position.
He number 2.
I mean, preference. Some people some people think he's probably number 3. Some people say Reggie. Some people say Sapp. Some people say Aaron Donald.
Well, I'm gonna put Reggie White, and then you can have that conversation with everybody else.
Yeah, so Reggie be one to meet too. But look, this ain't the first.
And that's
time.
Brandon didn't come out of nowhere. We know Brandon Bean not he on auto draft for the Bills.
So that's what it looks like. But we'll talk more about the rest of the draft on Tuesday, and we'll talk about the rest of the NBA playoffs on Tuesday as well. Enjoy the rest of the draft. Tomorrow, rounds 4 through 7. So hopefully your teams find some diamonds in the rough. There are a lot of good players still available. Like my guy, Jermon McCoy, but fortunately,
he probably going to sit out a year. That's what's holding him back from getting drafted.
And definitely, but he will get drafted tomorrow. He will hear his name called tomorrow. He will not go undrafted because he will be the biggest undrafted free agent. No, he will go early in round 4 tomorrow. It will not shock me.
He's one of the best. He was one of the best defenders last year.
This people saying this is Will Johnson situation from last year, the Michigan quarterback who ended up going to the Arizona Cardinals, who had
a good year,
who dealt with injury, a serious injury, and that's why some people had a 1st round grade on him, but he fell all the way to round 4. So if I'm a team that's looking for diamonds in the rough, you'll find them tomorrow. And we've seen some great ones. Tom Brady. I've seen Terrell Davis. It's not over. And we still got to see how these dudes play in NFL action.
There you go.
By the way, Nessa, are you going to share the shirt, sir?
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
The whole draft is mid and well, this was not a star-studded draft. It depends what you're looking
if
for.
it's mid and average, then you shouldn't be mad about taking Ty Simpson.
Exactly. I mean, this wasn't a flashy draft. This is really this really was a draft for the trenches.
This is the meat and potato. This is the offensive line, defensive line, and receiver draft.
Mm-hmm. They'll talk quarterbacks next year, and even next year, there's going to be polarizing conversation around those quarterbacks next year because we all know how certain people feel about Arch Manning. We know how people feel about Dante Moore. We don't know what's going to happen with Jaden Mayava from SC. What's going to happen with Nico next year with UCLA? Look, the quarterback class is 50-50. But we'll find out. We're going to get up out of here, get ready for the rest of the weekend, the rest of the NBA playoff weekend. Lakers, go take care of business on Sunday. Go take care of business on Sunday. Please. Go ahead and get the sweep. We don't need the Rockets traveling back with us to LA next week. Go get the sweep on Sunday night. And y'all can get ready because OKC is on the way. So, and then Broncos, find some diamonds in the rough. Find another Terrell Davis. And I'm not just saying running back, but just find that guy who could be you never know, might find a future Hall of Famer day 3. Might find a GOAT. You never know. And we'll be back Tuesday. Myself, Mark, Nick will be here. And we'll recap the rest of the draft. We'll recap the rest of the NBA playoffs. I think by next week, we will have the announcement of MVP and Coach of the Year. So we'll talk about that. And then All NBA is on the way as well. See who got snubbed, who didn't get snubbed. We know Ant-Man's not going to be on All NBA because of this whole 65 game restriction, but
I thought you said it was baby moms.
You good? But we'll definitely talk about that on Tuesday. So hit that subscribe button for Sports For You on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. At Sports For You Podcast, Instagram, Sports For You Podcast. Of course, you can follow me at John Watson 0984 on Instagram. You can follow Mark on Instagram at Hi I'm Mark, Hi I'm Mark 1 on X. Follow Nick on X and Instagram and TikTok at 99Gorilla. And we will see y'all on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the basketball. And if you're going to the movies.
Oh, that Michael Jackson. They need Anthony Woods next year.
Next year.
He should be drafted, Jared.
Next year. We want to hear about it next year. Yeah, happy Freaky Friday to you too, Nessa. But yeah, next year, Anthony Woods. You already know what it is. We'll see y'all on Tuesday. This has been Sports For You. I'm John. That's Mark.
Sometimes.
And we are
for you, from the coast to you. 3 LA minds talking what we do, from the streets to the stats, from the bar to the chat. Sports For You. Yeah.